Okay, phone is charging, so we're just going to film this. I hope you don't hear the air ventilation things a lot. Anyway, so we're just going to film this way. But anyways, let me just do my makeup at the meantime. But what I was talking about yesterday with the chain, it turns out it is quite loose by now and it really does need to be replaced, but it's not rusty or anything. So 3 guys helped fix it, like literally lifted the bike off its ass and tightened the chain as far as it still would go. So we're hoping, well, I mean, it should hold, according to people with way more experience than me. It should hold just fine. I mean, it won't be that comfortable, but it won't break or anything, most likely, because it's not rusted. It's old, it's too loose, but it's not rusted, so that's good. So there's that. So yeah, plan for now is just, you know, learn from the experience. Next time take him in for maintenance before a long trip and not afterwards. And other than that, I'm just going to keep enjoying this vacation. And let's hope that it won't be a too interesting vlog with, you know, unintended longer hotel stays and motorcycles that have to be brought back to the Netherlands. Not on their own wheels. So yeah. Anyway, also the plan now is to actually ride with other people, just to be sure. I mean, it only got fixed yesterday. I might start riding alone again tomorrow if the chain feels good enough. But I really don't want to be stuck in Italy without, you know, anyone, if there is an option to ride with people. Like, if I travel on my own, I travel on my own, then it's fine. But if there is an option of other people, then I'm not going to say no to that in this situation. But yeah, it did teach me one very important lesson. Just get your motorcycle checked before riding it across Europe. I don't know, like, it's my first motorcycle, so I'm only used to cars, and with a car it's more like, you just kind of expect it to work. Like, I've never had a car break down on me. Once, but then it was the battery, so that wasn't a big thing. And it wasn't my car technically, it was my dad's car. Oh, and of course, when I accidentally got my little Lioness, my old car, murdered. But even then it was next to work, so it wasn't that big of a problem to get back home and all. So yeah. But anyway, let's keep enjoying the vacation and hope that the motorcycle will keep enjoying it as well. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but it's straight again and it has the amount of movement that it should have. And a lot of grease, which is good. So yeah, gotta keep an eye on it. And in other news, I bought the off-brand, very cheap-ish version. I think, well, it says GoPro. I don't know, but anyway, this thing is loose and one of the teeth broke off, so I'm not going to use that one anymore. I'm just going to stick to the helmet version because I trust the duct tape more than cracking plastic.
There are seriously so many places here where you can stop and take pictures. It's amazing. Like, if you would stop at every single pretty spot to take pictures, you could just spend the entire day doing like a 50-kilometer ride. So, yeah, we didn't stop at every single pretty picture place, but here are some views where we did stop and yeah, just took the time to shoot some videos and take pictures, stuff like that. Obviously, I filmed more than average because I wanted to post it on YouTube. Most people just take pictures. Seriously, though, like, look how turquoise this water is. Like, there's something in the rocks, apparently, that makes it turquoise. I'm not sure exactly how it works. Anyway, also, it's a great place to trigger your own fear of heights, if you have any, because seriously, the prettiest places, for some reason, are usually on bridges and ledges and stuff like that. And when you look down, it's like really high up. Also, I'm not entirely sure why there's a weird tower there. There's probably a reason for that. Anyway, but yeah, the ride today went really well. I really felt that I was getting into it. As a Dutch person who's not used to mountains, I always have to sort of like get into the vibe of mountains and like angles, like the road not just being horizontal. So it always takes me just a few days to really get used to it. So it does help that I took the motorcycle through Germany to Italy, so I could already have that sort of like warming up in Germany. But yeah, and also it really helped that the chain got tightened, because what it does when the chain is too loose, it basically makes it so when you go downwards that it sort of starts smacking against parts of the bike, like you can feel that, and also it starts to sort of like surge forward a little bit because it has trouble grabbing onto itself. Like the chain and the other parts, I'm not sure what it's called in English, like the big like circle thing. Anyway, you get what I mean. It's not pleasant to ride like that. But yeah, thanks to the guys who, you know, fixed the chain for me. It's now, yeah, it's just now, it works as always. It's just very, very, very much more comfortable than it was during the first day. And I don't know, I really can't remember if I mentioned it in the last video, but I already made a appointment to learn how to do that myself, because that's just a sort of skill that I feel like I could definitely use, considering I also really like to travel alone, and yeah, you gotta be a little bit self-sufficient in that case, or at least I think that's just a lot more comfy. And then after the cave exploration, we got some more nice curves. I gotta say, curves, like, you know, like especially hairpin corners, upwards are so much nicer than downwards to me. Downwards is scarier because your bike just wants to speed up. And normally, if you want to go really slow, you pull in the clutch. But if you do that at a downwards angle, your bike is just going to go faster, logically. It's scarier to me. It's fun, but it's scarier to me. I love climbing a lot more. I do feel that this bike always has to be sure to, you know, not angle him too far, otherwise the foot pegs will hit the ground and I don't want to destroy them. But yeah, it's a really good thing to practice at. And like I said before, I really want to go to Germany, not really to Italy because it's a bit far away from the Netherlands, but to Italy is just the best for curves, in my opinion. But yeah, I really want to go to Germany more often because it's quite nearby, just to practice at it. Because practice makes perfect. Now, another thing in Italy to mention is that sometimes roads are blocked. Like literally the entire, you can't really tell here, but the entire road literally collapsed. But luckily there was this other path and I was so freaking scared that I would hit the exhaust pipes. Also enjoy my awkward way of like protecting people's privacy by turning them into giant salmon-colored blocks or blorbs or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, privacy comes at a cost. At looking like a giant circle. Anyway, this bike is not made for off-roads. Also, I was scared to drop him. Like, luckily we were with a group. That's another thing, you know, if you're with a group, things like that are a lot less scary. Just because, you know, if the bike does drop, at least there's other people around to help you. So that really, really does help. I'm not sure if I would have dared to do this if I would have been here on my own. I might have just gone back down and sought another route. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad we were in a group because it was a lot of fun. You can tell, by the way, the road was blocked off, but it was blocked off as a suggestion. You could still go next to it and still take the roads. If it would have been completely fenced off, obviously we wouldn't have gone into it, because none of us are that stupid. I think, maybe, probably. But yeah, it was more of a suggestion, and so we checked it out, and it turned out we could safely go past it, and yeah, we did. Do always keep in mind, if you encounter stuff like that yourself, you know, just be aware of your own limitations and of what you are comfortable with. Like, don't force yourself to do stuff like this just because other people do it. I know someone of the other group actually asked one of the other people in her group to take her bike over it. So that's also an option if you're with other people and you really don't feel comfortable doing it yourself. But yeah, anyway, we encountered quite a bit of roadworks this day, but I don't know, it's a fun challenge, I think. I did do a tricky roads training with this bike about a year ago, year and a half maybe. So I know that I won't just slip and fall with him. I know roughly how to do very, you know, easy, basic off-road things. Like I said, you shouldn't go into very deep gravel with this bike because he just doesn't have the tires for it. But it does really help to train yourself in this sort of thing, just so that if you do encounter it, which the chances of that are quite big abroad, then you won't be as scared and it just won't be as dangerous. So yeah, I really do recommend practicing at it.
Anyway, we had a fun route today, even though I got stung by a freaking wasp that flew into my freaking jacket. Like it flew into my sleeve and then it got mad at me. I didn't put it there. It flew in there itself. Anyway, so I hope it's not going to get really swollen. It doesn't hurt anymore, so let's hope it stays that way. Yeah. Trash can. I'm gonna look for a trash can. But yeah, anyway, the route was long but a lot of fun. A lot of nice hairpins. I still like hairpins upwards better than hairpins downwards. I was talking about hair, planning on washing my hair tonight, but we're back quite late because, well, it was a very long route, so I have like 20 minutes before dinner time, so I don't have time to do my hair, unfortunately. Whoops. Anyway, maybe I can do it later, or tomorrow morning. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready for dinner, and well, you know how the rest of the day was. You'll see it in the vlog. It was fun. Also, the chain on the motorcycle lasted well, which is also nice. Update: the blow dryer in the hairdryer in the hotel is good. And now I have like 4 minutes to get downstairs.